Okay, we are live. Testing, testing. Today on Quality Time with Family Ties, we learn to give it the old college try.
3, 2. Hey, everybody! Welcome to Quality Time with Family Ties. I am one of your hosts, Scott Jones. Joining me, as always, Mr. Paul Packler. Paul, how are you, man?
Ba-ba-ba! I'm great. How are you guys? I'm so glad. It makes no sense to the people listening, but we've had a long break
A
that
very
doesn't
long
make any
break.
sense. It doesn't work with the break that you've been hearing. It's crazy,
Yeah.
but we had a break, and it's nice to be back.
It feels good seeing you guys again. Corey, how are you?
I'm getting over a cold, so my voice is sort of funky.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm fine.
You sound like a real man now.
Yeah. It's like deeper.
Yeah, my voice is a little bit deeper today.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had a long break. It's been a while since we've done this. We are diving back in. We're diving into season 3. Guys, I still don't know how I feel about season 3 right now.
It's a bit of a mess.
It's yeah, a little bit, and we'll talk about it more. But for those of you playing at home, we are on season 3, episode 3, Little Man on Campus, and we're talking about Alex's. It seems like his first day at college.
Yes.
Probably a day he has been waiting for quite a long time.
Since he was 4 years old, I'm sure.
Yeah, dreaming of this.
And it starts. He's sharpening pencils, or he stole someone's pencil.
Sharpening someone's pencil. He stole her paste. He's sharpening pencils.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he stole her He stole Jennifer's paste, and he's got a briefcase like all 20-year-olds do.
He was carrying that briefcase in high school.
Yeah, 20-year-olds who don't mind getting the shit kicked out of them. He's 5'2", and he's carrying a briefcase. You're going to tell me no one's going to bully him? Come on.
Yeah. Have you seen anyone with a briefcase lately?
No, there's reason.
No, that's such a generational thing. Oh my god.
I'm not going to say any names, but there's this one guy at the improv theater that I perform at and stuff. He carries a briefcase. He has like ass-length hair. He's a little skeevy. He wears jeans with a lot of holes in them. He couldn't get a job at a record store, but he carries a briefcase.
Well, that's why you couldn't get the job at the rest. If you go into a record store carrying a briefcase, they're not going to hire you. He has the look otherwise, it sounds like.
But the affectation was a bit much.
Anytime I see someone carrying a briefcase, like, it just registers my douchebag. Like, I think less of them automatically.
Absolutely.
You know, it's funny. Where I teach, all of the instructors, we don't have any cubbies or office or anything, so we have to carry stuff with us. Mm-hmm. So most of us carry bags of some sort. There's the occasional teacher who carries the attaché case. All do. Every one of them is a douche.
Yeah.
I have a messenger bag. I have my own man purse that I proudly carry.
That's it. I have a man purse.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. All right, so Alex is getting ready for college. He's stolen paste. He's expecting to be like #1 on campus. He's going to go in there and make an impression. He's taking this U.S. history course that is taught by this very highly regarded teacher. Paul, do you remember the name of the teacher?
Ephraim Bronsky.
Now, can we stop for just an instant?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the only one who has a different point of reference for the term Bronsky, am I?
Wait, I don't know. What is it?
I don't know.
You guys don't have a point of reference? I've always... the other term that men usually refer to this uncouth act is motorboating a woman, but you've never
Bronsky.
Putting your head between a woman's boobs and going Bronsky. The equivalent of motorboating.
What the fuck? I've never heard that before in my life.
I think I have heard it. It didn't.
That's what made me laugh. when I heard that it was Professor Bronsky, we've always referred to it as a Bronsky or a motorboat when you put your head between. Now, let me just say, this isn't a common practice. It may be something I've done on my wife a few times.
I love you have to clarify it as this is not a common
It's not a common practice. It's not something I do like, hi, how are you? What's your name? Nice to meet you. May I?
Brodsky.
Not for lack of want, I'm sure, Corey. That's crazy. I have never heard that expression before.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
The whole thing with it's Professor Bronsky, and they're treating Leland University like it's the 11th Ivy League school that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I found out in some light reading from the show that Leland is what Harvard's first name, like Leland Harvard or whatever.
Oh,
so that they were trying to make this the most elite school in Columbus, Ohio. That it's supposed to feel like an Ivy League school.
Okay.
Interesting.
If that is indeed true, then I guess the next question, which I ask, is why is Alex not living on campus? Why is he a commuter student like he's at a junior college?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
He has a scholarship. If he got the McKinley Scholarship, certainly a portion of his tuition is being paid, so perhaps then he could have gotten a dorm room. Of course, it would have ruined family ties, and I understand that. But the logic, once again, sometimes they don't explain their logic.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would give me an explanation. Why isn't most kids go away to college? If Leland is so good and it's a neighborhood school, I get it. But explain to me then why he's not living on campus.
You want to get away? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't you want
It's one of the biggest. I think it's one of the biggest problems that Family Ties had is them finding out that Michael J. Fox was their bread and butter for the show, and that he's going to college like within the first 2 seasons. So it's like, how are we going to keep this guy in the house?
Exactly, because you can't write he's not going to college. He's too smart. He's ambitious. There's no way you can write that out. But it's easy, like, just with a line of dialogue, basically, like you could said, he got the scholarship, but they couldn't afford for it. It's going to be cheaper for him to live at home.
With the new baby coming.
Oh, good call.
God. I just thought there was an easy fix for it, and yet they elected to ignore it. And I don't want them to ignore it. I want them to acknowledge it.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
all right.
But so in the classroom we have the teacher who's a very if you're someone under the age of 30, Mr. Feeney type character. The Bromsky professor is very that way. Eastern Standard dialect and all that. And then his Alex's best buddy that we've never met before, that he somehow knew before, is Doug, played by what's his name?
Timothy Busfield.
Timothy Busfield.
From Revenge of the Nerds, and then 30-something.
30-something, West Wing.
Right, and I think everyone will know him from Studio 60, Live from the Sunset Strip, the Aaron Sorkin.
Well,
of course.
All 6 of the people who watched that, Paul, including you.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Timothy Busfield went on to direct, like, tons of television. I mean, that's his bread and butter now these days. Like, yeah. Yeah, and Doug is like the opposite of Alex. Like I was like, how are these two friends?
Yeah, they don't seem like they would have been buddies. Like even his friends that we saw in high school were douchey, bro-y guys that it was like, I could see these guys being friends with Alex. But he's wearing suspenders, which I guess makes him sort of like a Ducky type character or something.
Yeah.
But so in the classroom, they're talking about the First Amendment, and Alex is trying to get on the teacher's good side, and he's giving, reciting the First Amendment. And one of the dumbest parts is, if you're in school for poli-sci or whatever it is they're going for, as soon as he's like, and as the First Amendment says, and then everyone pulls out their notebooks and starts writing.
Down too, Paul. They're writing the quote of the First Amendment, which I imagine they would have in a book somewhere. As opposed to writing his analysis of the First Amendment. That's the quotable thing. That's the stuff that you want to write down, not what the First Amendment is.
Yeah. I could go to a bank right now and get a pocket constitution for free. I don't need to waste notebook paper.
No, and not only is it probably in a book somewhere, Corey, it's also probably in like bold lettering what the First Amendment says. It's like the
Yeah,
head of the
ready?
paragraph.
Ready? Watch this. I'm pointing at my head. Congress shall make no law abridging of freedom of speech. Boom! That's what he says.
Wait, I want to get my pen out and write that down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone.
Congress shall make no law
Yeah.
abridging amendment.
Oh, you're already fucking it up. You should have listened more closely, Scott.
God damn it! I'll go find a book.
Yeah, but so Alex is trying to show off and answer questions that are rhetorical and things like that, and makes a fool out of himself.
In front of the class, yes.
Yeah.
I was always smart enough to know when to shut up.
Yeah,
I think
that's a good point, Corey.
it's a real ego. I mean, and it doesn't surprise us that Alex is so egotistical. But I think it's like learning when and where. And Ethan Bronsky, or Ephraim Bronsky,
Ephraim.
he was certainly intimidating enough that I would have, even with his accent, with his affectation, of the way he talked, I would have shut the fuck up and let him.
Yeah. If he shut me down once, I'd be okay. I'm not saying anything
That's
else
it.
during
I'm
this
just
class. I'm
gonna-
shutting up.
I tell you, I had professors in college who were very intimidating in that manner, where you didn't ask questions, you just knew better. Just shut up, let them do their thing.
Because you knew a debate was going to happen.
I had an acting teacher who was very intimidating. But all the academics at my school were super easy. So I was like, if everything went Alex's way in this episode, that's how I was in college. I have so many stories of me being a dick and like getting all the questions right and stuff. It was really bad.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
I can totally see that, Paul.
Yeah, you know. But no, but like, yeah, when you have a teacher or a professor who's like got the shit wrapped around his finger, you just let them go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just write down notes, learn from them. Don't get in a debate because they will shut you down. They've been doing this too long, and they don't want to put up with any shit.
Yeah, and so just to quickly sum up what the discussion that like he does the teacher does a sort of like Socratic dialogue where he tears Alex apart because he's like, so Congress should make no law abridging the freedom of speech. And Alex is like, well, yeah, of course. And he's like, well, what about libel, or what about slander, or what about this or that? And he's like, oh, no, you shouldn't do that. And then he doubles back on him and says, well, what about this or that? And so by the end of it, he's like, so, Mr. Keaton, you have no idea what you're talking about. And
right.
So that's how the scene ends.
Right, and Al kind of slunks away. Yeah, kind of beaten down.
Right. And so we go forward to that night or whatever. Alex is studying, and it's this very artsy shot where Alex is in the foreground studying in the living room, and then Elise is knitting on the couch in the background. It's very like Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
And something that happens in the third season, and I don't know why, but Elise is always different levels of pregnant.
Yeah,
she was really pregnant in this episode.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering, do you think that that's on purpose, or do you think she really was extremely pregnant by that point? Because like in the episode when she announces her pregnancy, she doesn't look that pregnant.
No, and then in the next episode, she's already on bed rest. She's not even in the next episode.
Yeah, right. She's a belle.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know how out of order it was. I think we're going to have to see a bunch more episodes until the baby is born. What's the baby's name? Andrew?
Yes.
Yeah.
Until Andrew is born. I think we're going to have to wait and see, and then we might be able to figure out what order they shot these shows in. Because
it's really weird.
She's so big, and they don't have her moving a lot in this show. They have her sitting almost all the time.
Yeah.
In the little that she's in. But
we need to hire an intern. We should get a college intern to figure out the timeline of Elise's pregnancy versus Meredith Baxter's pregnancy.
Yes.
So for the listeners, if you're interested in being our intern, please contact us at qualitytimewithfamilyties@gmail.com. We'll be taking applications and resumes.
I'll be happy to do the interviews for our intern on the West Coast.
Yep.
what I thought was really funny in this, and I've had this situation in my real life. So her knitting needles are clicking against each other.
Mhm.
Alex can't quite concentrate on his paper. So he hides being irritated with the knitting needles and gets into another, I've really got to concentrate, I really got work to do. Of course, my question to my 17-year-old child is, why don't you go to your fucking room and door
Goddamn door.
where you can write your paper in complete silence, where my knitting needles in my living room won't bother you?
But this is what happened. Remember in the season finale of season 2, Elise did the same thing. She was working in the living room
But she
and was getting
doing
annoyed.
architecture stuff. That's
Yeah.
right.
The Keatons need to understand what common space is. They need some boundaries.
They really do.
They really do. And Corey, I think I can guess where the knitting needle issue came in your own life.
Yes.
The green room at Snow White.
When
How many people do we have knitting in that green room?
but those knitting needles didn't bother me. You know what did bother me in that room? What really bothered me was when George the dancer would start doing some Wii dance thing. He hooked up his video machine, his video games, and they would do like Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the green room, and they'd be like sweating. They'd be like schwitzing all over each other. It's like, we don't sweat enough on that fucking stage. You got to come in here and drip your fucking sweat on me in here. Get away from me, a panda bear or whatever you fucking were, what animal, what woodland creature you were.
I remember that.
Man, we had 60 people in one room. That was rough.
That was a little
You really
rough.
had to learn group dynamics really quickly.
Absolutely.
That's true.
But, it's like the knitting needles aren't even particularly loud. Alex, just get a grip on it, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. And in this scene, we learn about, like, Jennifer starts annoying Alex, and he's, being a dick and telling her that he's studying about Eugene Debs, who was, very quickly, a socialist who was arrested and charged with sedition because he was speaking against entering World War I. And it became a Supreme Court case, blah, 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 look it up yourself. But that, becomes the topic later on when he discusses with the professor. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yes. Linking up to the issue of the First Amendment.
Right.
Cool. So, yeah, he's working on this research paper. He's really stressed out because he wants to impress the professor, Bronsky.
Professor Motorboat.
Bronsky!
Professor Motorboat. And then we're back at the
college.
The college, yep.
Yeah, so we're in class, and the teacher, I keep calling him teacher. I'm like 5 years old. The professor...
Bronsky would be yelling at you right now.
Exactly, yeah. So Motorboat hands back the papers, and he's like, I'm really proud of one student in particular. Everyone else can suck a dick, and he hands back Alex's paper, and it's this leather-bound tome. And then he gives Doug
I love that.
And then Alex says some bullshit where he's like, "Oh, it was an honor to write it for you." Turns out Alex got an F and Doug got an A.
Did you ever try to do that, Paul or Corey? Like, if you knew you didn't work too hard on a paper, kind of sprucing it up a little bit, putting it in a nice little, binder or something? I would always do that.
Oh, sure. I'd always try gussing it up. Bells and whistles.
I just got all A's, guys. I didn't have to...
I did good too, but...
So then we go, so it's a very quick scene. We go to the kitchen where Mallory got 2 C minuses and a B minus, and she's blaming it on the baby.
And yeah, she's very excited by it, I think, too, right? Like, she's kind of proud of herself.
She might have been bad for Mallory.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens? This episode is just interminable, this episode.
Yeah, and then Alex comes in and he wants to quit college.
He wants to drop out, and he can't say the word. He can't even tell anybody, I want to drop out. I want to drop out.
Yeah.
get to hear about the great baseball player Orlando Del Rio in one of the most ridiculous things they've ever said, who in the major leagues went 0 for 167. You realize no professional baseball player is ever now, earlier in the future, going to have the opportunity to go for 0 for 167, because when you're around 0 for 25, that's when they start to send you back down to the minors for more seasons.
Yeah, you're kind of done.
Wow. So that was a real person?
No, it wasn't a real person, and it's not a real story, and it makes no sense.
I didn't even know that. Wow.
That, because I figured it was a real person. That makes me so angry.
That
makes no sense.
Yeah.
And if you're going to lie, why lie that big?
Now I got to look it up to just it's no longer. Orlando Del Rio. Ooh, baseball. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Wait.
Holy
is it real?
shit.
Is it real?
Holy shit. Wait. No, hold on. Here's his statistics. Oh, no.
Breaking news.
Nope, he's not real. It's only in reference to family ties. Yep. Everything is in relation to family ties. Nope, not a real person.
Son of a bitch.
That's such bullshit.
Yeah. They made it up.
That's just not how jokes work. Jokes are supposed to be based in reality. I don't get it.
I know. Now
there's
I'm
something
pissed.
at the heart of this that's very upsetting.
Right.
But then we move forward, and Mallory is supposed to be studying in a room, but instead she's, reading magazines and jerking off or something? What's she doing?
Listening to music.
Oh, yeah, I always get those two confused.
Yeah. Jerking off and music?
Yeah. Here, right, I'm going to go bring out my guitar.
Maybe wait just a little longer.
But this is the weirdest shot scene in the whole episode. Like, the lighting is really... It looks like a Tennessee Williams play.
Her room does look like something out of, like Blanche Dubois would be living in.
Yeah, lots of red lighting and stuff.
Exactly. I'm going to drape scarves over my lamp so that it's got some atmosphere.
It's a hot southern night in Ohio. Yeah, it feels like a lot of times in Family Ties, occasionally they want to go theatrical with how they present the scene.
Yeah, they kind of do, yeah.
It's interesting.
And then just interesting points of reference. I think that there are posters of unicorns, Elvis Costello, Boy George, and Springsteen on her walls. Just things to notice. That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, aside from the unicorn, I at least felt like, okay, this looks like an 80s teenage girl's room.
Yeah.
You know?
Mallory is so excited, though, that Alex is getting bad grades.
Yeah.
Yeah. But who wouldn't be? He's such a smug little prick.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is a good moment for Mallory. Because I don't think... Did she even say that she never even got an F? I don't know if... I'm trying to remember, but does she even say, I never even got an F? Maybe?
I don't know. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah. But she's trying to... Yeah.
But once again, this scene also, a synecdoche of the whole episode, just drags on and on. And she talks about, like, how she isn't good at taking tests. And then it becomes this sort of, like, examination of why. And I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, how her mind just kind of starts running away from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good little character thing for Mallory.
Like, everything goes gray, her mind wanders, and then she ends up thinking about boys.
Yeah, again, like, it also felt very condescending to the character a little bit. Like, we've talked about how dumb they've made Mallory, and this is just like, we're not even going to, like, this is just confirming, this is the only thing we're going to give her is being boy crazy.
When Alex starts in, like, tell me, Mallory, what's it like to be a really bad student? It's sort of like very condescending. Like, would you go to your sister and go, I'm going to really explore how dumb you are? And by telling me, who gets good grades, what's it feel like to be stupid?
Yeah, what's it like to be that fucking dumb?
Yeah, that's the really shitty part. But the thing is, the stuff that she's saying sounds so normal. Like, I feel like more people feel Mallory's way than Alex's, and
Alex's way, absolutely.
She doesn't seem that stupid. Like, of course, if you're taking a subject you don't enjoy, you're gonna start like, and especially if you're a teenager, you're gonna start thinking about sex.
Of course, your mind's
Right,
going to run.
Yeah.
There's a good boy. I'll think about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go with that. All right, so we're back at the classroom. And...
Oh, you know what? I think this is where the commercial break happens. So
you're
let's
right,
take
because,
a
we got
quick
some.
stop.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be right back. And we're back.
It's great that we've got this down where we do the commercial break right before the last scene of the episode. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
We're good at finding that beat. I'm really proud of us on that.
Yeah. And I did. Sometimes I write it down. This time it was just organic. What's that, Corey?
I said, Bryant, it's your problem now. We said all the words. You put it in the right order. Go ahead. Do that.
Yeah.
What's amazing is that all of this is just edited together. He cut it together word by word because we are terrible at speaking. So everything is swearing and nothing makes sense. This is all edited by Bryant. Everything I'm saying now, you're hearing because of Bryant.
He makes sense out of the three idiots that we are.
It's like, dear God, I gotta piece this together. Shit.
It's like that one Kids in the Hall sketch. Do you remember where Dave Foley played? He's like sweeping the floor. Scott Thompson comes in and he's like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And the guy's like, "I don't speak English."
I love that.
And he's like, "Everything I've learned is just through syntax. I don't know what you're saying." And then he kills him.
He's just like, "Look, man, I just want to get some shoes, okay?" He's like,
"Yeah,
I can understand your frustration, but again, I don't speak English."
Yeah. It's awesome.
All right, so we're in the classroom, and Alex is going to tell Professor Motorboat that he's going to be dropping his class. He's just not cut out for it, and he does it in a very a respectful way. "I don't want to waste your time, Professor Motorboat."
Yeah. I'm sure Motorboat's thinking about him every second that he's,
Absolutely. Motorboat's thinking, "I deserve better. Why do I have this punk-ass kid in my class?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, that when Alex has a good antagonist, someone who can stand up to him in whatever capacity, it always makes Michael J. Fox look better.
Absolutely.
And this actor, I don't know, Corey, do you know who the actor is?
Michael McGuire is his name.
Okay. Is he from anything else? He looks very familiar.
No, he looked familiar to me too. Nothing rang a bell.
Okay. Yeah. But he's a great actor, and he's great at keeping the status in every scene. Like
I thought he did such a good job in this scene, not just in terms of how he handles Alex, but in terms of how he represents a college professor trying to get a freshman student to do the one crucial thing that's the transition from high school to college, which is think on your own. Tell me what you think about this. Not what I say. Don't regurgitate back what I think. Tell me what you think of this situation. Critical thinking is the one thing that they don't teach you in high school that they start to teach you in college.
Yeah. And that's the whole scene. And what's really interesting is that it's almost, I don't know, like the actor, when in a play, the actor is the one that is commanding the direction and the tone and the arc of a scene. Like, if you have a good actor, they can make a whole scene organically flow through all the highs and lows and take you on that journey. It's partly the writing, it's partly the director, but in theater, you really feel the power of an actor.
Absolutely,
and that's what this actor's doing. He's driving the scene.
Yes, he controls it completely and makes it very interesting. His passion, I found, not only inspired Alex, but as a viewer, I think you could find, while the subject matter is not of any interest to me, I found him an inspiring professor. He'd be the type of professor I'd like to go to his class and listen to his lectures.
Absolutely.
Right. And you see the revelations hitting Michael J. Fox. Like, no, he shouldn't have done. He should have said this, but no. But what about this? And it keeps art building and building and building until finally, Professor Motorboat is like, "That's what I want to see more of." You just did
Yes.
it. You just verbalized it. Now put it in your writing.
Exactly. And I honestly wish, they try so hard with sitcoms to, especially back then, like we talked about the guy that Susanna knew from Elise's office.
Yeah.
They try so hard to find characters to shoehorn in to be recurring. This guy, I'm sure he won't be, should totally be a recurring character because he stands up to Alex and Michael J. Fox in such an interesting way.
Absolutely.
A very good foil for Alex, almost in a way. William Daniels from Boy Meets World, or from
Yes.
where he has a
Yeah.
very Christian East Coast, like he's from the Boston area. He's very Bostonian,
Right.
New England accent, and they're all of a sudden very much smarter than you. They have higher status.
Totally.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
and that's it. Like the scene ends with Motorboat leaving the classroom, and then Alex goes through this whole monologue of shouting at the window. I'll leave it to you guys because it annoys the shit out of me.
Okay, it's an annoying scene because it's so obvious for a time killer, but it's not just a time killer, it's also we got to get another different angle of a shot to even put in there. So Alex has this monologue of like, yeah, okay, I can do this, and he's speaking to himself in the classroom. You could end it there. That would be fine. Have him leave the classroom but no, they have more time to kill. So now they have to do this bit with Michael J. Fox looking out the window. They have to set up a shot of him looking out the window and doing this whole bit of calling out to the professor he has just talked to on the street, yelling out, I'm going to keep your class, I'm going to keep your class. But he's also yelling, the woman looks up and goes, no, not you. Get that guy's attention. And clearly the professor is not paying attention to him. So for something that could have ended so simply, it goes on forever.
It's shocking. It's just shocking.
It really.
How long they have him talking to people not on stage with him. It's just, they should know, we know, they should have known, I don't care how many years ago it was. It was way more interesting when Professor Bronsky was standing there and he was talking to him. Don't have him shout to an imaginary Professor Bronsky. If you wanted to keep him in the scene, keep him in the scene.
Yeah, just make it about that. But it clearly was, we gotta kill time. It was so ridiculous how long it took to end the show. How you doing, Paul?
That was great. No,
Okay.
I just wanted to hear you guys say it because it's just so annoying.
It's painful. It is annoying.
It's like if you end, I don't know, think of the play that you love or movie that you love, and then they add in a funny monologue at the end of the thrilling conclusion. And you're just like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
So, but honestly, we'll talk about it in the next episode, how great the final scene is. This scene with Motorboat and Alex, it's definitely worth checking out. I really enjoyed it.
It was good. Just stop it after Motorboat leaves.
Yeah.
Right. That should be the fade out of the episode of Alex realizing, I can do this. Blackout. That's it. That's all they need.
Yep.
It would be like if in the closing credits to this, if one of us just went on and on with a monologue, waiting for this to end.
It sounds like a challenge to me.
I know. All right. Let's try it. Sure.
All right.
Okay. So this has been a great episode, guys. This has been really good. I'll get ready to close out here. Paul, you got any last words?
No, I'm gonna wait for the credits.
Okay. Well, that about wraps it up for us, guys. For questions and comments, please email us at qualitytimewithfamilyties@gmail.com. And for updates, you can follow us on Twitter at QTWFT. We're also each on Twitter. I'm at Follow Jones.
I'm at Paul Packler.
I'm at Corpep.
And be sure to like our Facebook page. We like to thank our host and producer, Barbara Dillon at Fanboy Comics. Fanboy Comics is an online conglomerate of geek media, providing its readers with daily insights and reviews to the pop culture spectrum. We also like to thank Perry Adams, who beautifully performs the theme song Without Us. Be sure to check out her music at perryadams.net. We also like to thank Bryant Dillon. Bryant is the president of Fanboy Comics. He also edits our show. And lastly, Sean Foster, Fanboy Comics graphic designer, who also designed our logo. Thank you, guys, and we will see you next week.
Justin, Joaquin, hey guys, Listen, I miss you guys, and I wish that we could go to Heroes and maybe get some nachos. Remember that place? It was really fun. Man, it's fun talking with these two, but if we could get all of us together to hang out, that would be so much fun. Gosh, I love you guys. Joaquin with your stupid voice, and Justin with your other stupid voice that you'll never hear. Like, the people that are listening to this will never hear your stupid voices. Yeah.
Out.
That's it for us. Bye.
Bye bye.